My Amp Unit, welcome to the 33rd ever BC's Pro Wrestling Amplified podcast. It's almost like the calm before the storm, because the bulk of this episode is going to be the amplified preview of WWE's next pay-per-view tomorrow night titled Clash of Champions. You guys know how I feel about this pay-per-view, at least on paper, so that's why we call this an amplified preview. Things are probably going to get real volatile in just a few minutes. We're going to get really amplified when we call out all the nonsensical BS match by match. But that'll be in a couple minutes. On to my opening thank you monologue, because you guys know I like to start these podcasts off every week thanking you guys for taking a moment out of your day, your week, your month, your year, however you want to call it. You took a moment to smash that subscription button. Thank you so much, because as YouTube continues to be in flux as they roll out all of these new rules and regulations and all these new things they're trying, and it's really affecting the creators, and I know it's also frustrating the subscribers because they're being taken off of channels without their knowledge. So I thank you guys so much, not only for subscribing to the Amplified Man, but on top of that, continuing to make sure that you're still subscribed. Because YouTube is just in flux, they're really fucking up, and they're taking people off, man. So that's a problem in its own right. Not just not promoting videos or not suggesting them into other people's feeds and boxes. Hey, that's fine. I'll get my message across the hard way. But when I got my subscribers telling me that they're being taken off, that frustrates me, and that shit's gotta stop. So I thank you guys so much for keeping on top of it and staying subscribed, because we are the little engine that they said couldn't, but we are. We weren't supposed to make it on YouTube. We were scaring too many people, or we're going to scare too many people, they told me. They said I'm too intense, I'm too passionate, I'll never make it. But together we're proving them wrong, but we have to do it together. The unit has to remain the strongest unit in pro wrestling, and YouTube as a whole. So I can't do that without you guys, and I thank you guys so much. And that's why every single week I like to start this off with a thank you. So it really does mean a lot to me. And if you're newer to the channel, maybe this is your first video, take a moment, locate it somewhere. I don't even know where it is, but together we'll find it. It'll say subscribe, hopefully, in big letters or small. Just find it. Smash that shit. You know, help out, man, because I'm taking on YouTube here, and that's a fucking brawl. Speaking of a battle, shall we do this? Right? That is the opening monologue. It's only a couple minutes. Me thanking you guys. Because we have a lot to go over in the bulk of this. And again, if I can get this done in reasonable time, I actually want to talk about Alicia Fox. I know that might sound strange. What? That's one of your big stories, BC? Yeah, there's a lot going into this Alicia Fox situation that's kind of alarming and a mystery. So I do want to talk Alicia Fox if I can get this amplified preview of Clash of Champions finished in a good amount of time, and I still have some time left. I do want to talk some Alicia Fox too. So there's a lot to get to. I'm going to shut the fuck up, or not really. I'm going to shut up on the monologue and really start to get amplified right about now. All right. Let's start with the pre-show, or at least what we think is going to be the kickoff, knowing Vince McMahon. And of course, we're talking the Cruiserweight Championship. I'm sure we'd all be dumbfounded if Vince actually gave them a chance on the main roster. And if he does, because it is Clash of Champions, you would think that a championship match would be presented on the main show. But if he does, is most of the crowd gonna care about that match? And if they don't, can you blame them? It's what I say all along. If you're going to put these matches on a pay-per-view, you have to make your fans care about them. I think it's safe to say the whole 205/Cruiserweight brand has been irrelevant since basically its existence. And then every single pay-per-view, they parade out some stupid championship match in the pre-show. And I say stupid, not because it ain't going to be a good wrestling match, or not because the wrestlers aren't damn good, some of them even great. Stupid because nobody cares. It's irrelevant and insignificant if they're going to be in the same role every time. But on the flip side, if you put it on the main show, people still won't give a shit because they know it's not significant. It's up to Vince McMahon to make these superstars, and if it's going to be a full throttle brand / title, the Cruiserweight Championship, it's up to Vince McMahon to make it relevant. I don't feel like anything about this is special, other than it's good wrestlers putting on a good wrestling match. What do I always tell you guys? That's always good to see, but I can see that anywhere. ROH, New Japan Pro Wrestling, you got it guys, what's next? That's right. Down at the local bingo hall with Billy Buttfuck McGee. That's right, and Danny Dipshit Dugenheimer. I need more than just the good wrestling. I need to give a shit. Especially if it's on a pay-per-view. But anyway, I digress. At this point, I'll put it in the pre-show. This could always change. But again, Cruiserweight Championship, Gulak, Humberto, and Dorado. They're going to obviously just do what they do best, man. And that's rock out. I have no reservations on that. I don't doubt that for 1 second. They aren't going to try to go out there and steal the show. I just don't blame anyone for not giving a shit about it. And that sucks, especially when there's a title on the line. That's my thoughts on it, guys. I don't have anything further than that. I think the strap still needs to be with Gulak when this thing is all said and done. Now, if we go to the main show, I want to start off with the Women's Tag Team Championship. That's Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross, tag title holders for the women, taking on Fire and Desire. That's Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. I want you guys to think about what I just said. Your Women's Tag Team Championship match on the pay-per-view. We believe this to be the main show. They could boot this into the pre-show, though, because there is a total, if you count the pre-show match that I just mentioned, there's 11 matches. They could decide to put a couple of these matches on the pre-show, and if so, look for it to be the women's tag strap match. Would anybody give a shit if it was? But think about what I said there. Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross taking on Mandy Rose and Sonya. That's your title match. Mandy Rose is starting to show improvement, which is good. Sonya Deville is still far away from where she needs to be, and that's unfortunate. Alexa Bliss, we all can agree, and I like Alexa Bliss. You guys know that. I take a lot of heat on this channel for that because I'm pro Sasha Banks. I love Sasha Banks, and I also like Alexa, so I know I get a lot of heat for that. But as someone who likes Alexa, I'll be honest with you guys. She's an average wrestler, right? She's average. So she's in there going against somebody who's starting to improve in Mandy, somebody who's far away from where she needs to be in Sonya, and her tag team partner is the only real one in there that can go brute for brute, and that's Nikki Cross. So I'm just sitting here going, is that the best they could have done for a title match? While Kairi Sane and Asuka sit in catering. And that's only if they even got invited to the fucking show. If they even bought them an airplane ticket. And if they're not on the show, if I'm them, then I wouldn't even want to be there. Take your ticket, shove it up your fucking ass. But you got Asuka and Kairi sitting in fucking catering while Fire and Desire get a tag team title opportunity against Alexa Bliss, the champion, and Nikki Cross. Fucking Asuka. Not even on the card. So irrelevant, she had to start up a fucking YouTube channel to try to get some relevancy. Because Lord knows the company's not giving it to her. And I can tell you, as a fucking YouTuber, I can tell you right now, she's going to be more relevant on this platform than in that company. Shit, the Amplified Man was more relevant than Asuka in that company the last year. She'll be playing around on YouTube. Ember Moon will be playing video games in the back because Lord knows they don't have a spot on this card because Mandy Rose and Sonya and Alexa Bliss have to be on it. I don't give a fuck who wins these tag straps, brah. Nobody wins here. Nikki and Alexa walk out the champs. They walk in and walk out the champs. Does anybody win? Do the fans win? Does the company win? Is anybody gonna make more money? If Fire and Desire win these straps, is Vince gonna make a shitload of money on them? Is the crowd gonna be buzzing? Is the company gonna roar and skyrocket? In the ratings? Bring the asses to the seats? Merchandise is gonna fly off the shelf? WWE stock is gonna go through the roof? Fire and design. Mandy Rose is a champ! Sonya Deville's got the strap! And you have Ember Moon, Asuka, Kairi, Naomi! Nobody can even get a spot on the card! Anyway, moving on. Match number 2 on the main show. SmackDown Tag Team Championship. The New Day taking on the Revival. How the fuck does this even happen? Can I just say... I know, I always say, the brand split is dead. There is no more brand split. In fact, even the wild card rule got fucking dealt with. Nobody even knows who's where anymore. People just show up wherever they want to fucking be. But last I checked, New Day was a tag team from SmackDown, correct? It's the SmackDown tag strap holders. And was it the Revival from Raw? And now they're like permanently on SmackDown as henchmen for Randy Orton, and on top of that, going for the tag straps on SmackDown. It's almost like they just put themselves there. Anyway, away from the common sense and logic from all of this, this could actually be one of the best matches of the night if they give them 15 minutes at least. If this match gets 15 minutes at least, we will be talking about a dynamite tag team match. Because the New Day and the Revival can deliver once you get past the non-common sense, the illogical bullshit in it all. Question is, does Vince really give them 15 minutes? I doubt it. Next up, match number 3 on the main show, Raw Tag Team Championship. This is probably not any better. In fact, much worse, I'd say. Seth Rollins and Braun Strowman tag title holders, as if that's not criminal enough that they took them from Gallows and Anderson, an actual formidable tag team. They put them on Rollins and Strowman just because they have some nonsensical bullshit feud that nobody cares about later in the night. Let's put the tag titles on them and it'll make this more interesting, Vince said. No, it dumbed it down even more. The tag titles became nothing more than just props in an irrelevant feud / story / match between Rollins and Strowman. That's the truth. So now they're in this weird tag team match Sunday night against Dolph Ziggler and Robert Bobby Bob Roode. A team, I use that loosely, that was just formed 2 weeks ago in some bullshit nonsensical 20-team gauntlet match. Who in their right mind? Who in their right mind would be going, I can't wait to see Rollins and Strowman versus Dolph Ziggler and Robert Bobby Bob Roode. What a match! 4th match of the night on the main show, AJ Styles, the United States champion, defending the title against Cedric Alexander. Listen, just like I said about the New Day and the Revival, if Vince was to give AJ Styles and Cedric Alexander 15 minutes, this could be one of the best wrestling matches we see Sunday night. Telling you right now. Is it me, guys, or does AJ Styles seem to have lost a step or two this year? I know the booking for AJ Styles has been horrendous. He's basically been put in irrelevancy this year. Late 2018, all of 2019, basically. But is it me, or I'm just not seeing great matches out of AJ Styles anymore, not even at the pay-per-views. And Styles is one of those cats that even if you give him 10 minutes, he's going to give you something to remember. I'm not seeing that anymore from Styles. This is going to be a clutch match for me because now he's in there with somebody that can go. A young cat stallion like Cedric Alexander. This is right up Alexander's alley and avenue, and this is what used to be right up AJ Styles' alley and avenue. Let's see if Styles still has it. Be interesting to see, man. I'm just saying. I'm going to be watching Styles extra closely in this match for the United States Championship. Next up, match number 5 on the night, for me anyway, on paper, for Clash of Champions, will be the Intercontinental Championship. Shinsuke Nakamura, the champion, taking on Miz, the challenger. I told you guys 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, I told you guys I'm just not feeling it. I saw where they were going, and I'm thinking, Shinsuke versus Miz for the IC strap is just, I don't care. And I know I'm not alone. We like The Miz, but they yin-yang him so much. He's had so many heel/face turns that at this point, it's just pointless/bullshit. And on top of that, Miz goes from relevancy to irrelevancy in the blink of an eye. Snap of a finger. It just seems like he goes up and down so quickly in this company that after a while, it's like the boy that cried wolf. You stop believing in a motherfucker. On top of that, Nakamura's been your champion and they've treated him like a fucking joke even with the championship. Which is not unusual with this company, but with a talent like Shinsuke, it's downright criminal. So I just wasn't feeling it, but last week on SmackDown, something happened and I got interested in this. Miz ended up having the match of his life, I feel, in there with Andrade Tuesday night. I saw a fire and a passion I've never seen from Miz before. And then Shinsuke gets in the ring, knee to face, Kinshasa, Miz is laid out. It added some layers of me giving a shit to this match and about this match. And that's good to see, man. So I'm not over the top excited for it, no. But I'm a little bit more intrigued than I was just 2 weeks ago. So we'll see what Nakamura and Miz deliver. A lot of people think that the Miz is going to capture the championship. And from what I'm hearing is that would put him over Chris Jericho's IC title reign. I don't know if that's 100% valid or not. I have to do my research on it. This is just what I heard before I filmed this video. So I'm putting that out there. If you guys find that out, drop it down in the comments below. But I'm hearing that Chris Jericho also has the same amount of IC title reigns, and maybe they want Miz to beat that so Jericho is not a talking point because now, of course, he's with AEW. So I have to do some research on that, but that'll be interesting. If that's the case, I wouldn't doubt Vince putting that strap on the Miz. And Shinsuke, that would just be another just horrible title run from another superstar through no fault of their own. Another title reign that nobody even, not just cared about, most people probably forgot about. Just like Finn Balor, I forgot he was even a fucking champion before he asked for a little bit of a hiatus. I forgot he was even an IC strap holder. All of a sudden he's just losing it. I'm like, fuck, well, nobody's hurt by this. No harm, no foul. Nobody even knew he was the champion. He was kept off TV in an irrelevancy. Same with Nakamura. Match number 6. On my card anyway for Clash of Champions. Roman Reigns versus Eric Rowan. No disqualification. I'm sorry. I was under the impression this was Clash of the Champions. I must have missed Eric Rowan's championship belt. But that's alright. Maybe they're just going for Roman Reigns' championship belt. Oh wait, they have none! So we're just getting Reigns and Rowan because this is a continuation of a storyline, the Attacker storyline, Mystery Attacker, that I was really high on. We all were really high on at first, and over several weeks. Buddy Murphy even looked like he was a star in the making through the process. And in the past several weeks, the wheels have fallen off hardcore. This angle/story has bottomed out more than I've seen any good storyline bottom out in the 30 plus years I've been watching this business. I've seen good storylines fall to shit. Never this fast and never this hardcore. It was going so good, and then it's like they just didn't know where to take it. So all we got was 7,146 replays every single show, 5 times a show, of what happened to this point. It was just a video package of the previous weeks when shit was actually good. Unfucking real. That's tragic. I really had high hopes for this. And we all know what it was. It was just to get to Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns. Now it looks like they're even changing that up. And maybe they want Daniel Bryan to go face once Fox takes SmackDown Live. Maybe they feel they need more faces. You think? You've only went 15 years without a fucking star in that company. Roman Reigns and Eric Rowan. I can't believe I'm saying this because at one point it was the hottest fucking storyline, but that's probably the bathroom break of the night. If you didn't already take it with Alexa Bliss, Cross, Mandy Rose, and Sonya. Match number 7, main card. SmackDown Women's Championship. Bayley versus Charlotte Flair. I'm down. I know at least they're going to perform. with Bayley's new kind of more edgier character, I'm hard-pressed to say heel, but it looks that way. We'll definitely find out come Clash of Champions. But she's definitely more heelish now. But with this edge to her, I'm interested to see the roles and how they kind of seamlessly transfer. You know, Charlotte is going to, in this match, transfer that heel energy over to Bayley. Bayley's going to transfer her face energy to Charlotte. That's what it looks like to me. And it's going to be interesting to see if they can pull that off flawlessly. And on top of that, I know it's going to be a good wrestling match. Given Vince gives them time, that seems to be the theme of every show, right? But I have no qualms about this, man. SmackDown Women's title on the line. If Charlotte Flair wins this title, I know people are going to go ballistic. I am not going to be down with that, only because you finally got Sasha and Bayley to be something pretty badass. And Bayley already ate an L this past, Monday night? When Charlotte Flair just pinned Bayley simplistically? So does Charlotte beat her 6 nights later too? Forget the title. And I know, the title is everything, but forget that for a second. Just Bayley eating 2 L's in the matter of 7 days. 6 nights, really, from Monday night. How is that? You have something working. Again, this is worse than 50-50 booking. This is taking something that can make you a lot of money in the future. This is taking something badass, something everyone's into, and ruining it from the jump. Match number 8 is the Raw Women's Championship. This is Becky Lynch taking on Sasha Banks for Becky's Raw Championship. Dude, I'm down with this match. You guys know this. Yes. Front and center, I'm a Sasha mark anyway, right? We're really high on Sasha Banks on this channel. So the fact that she's getting a championship match, to say I'm intrigued with this is an understatement. I don't know, man. There's a lot of emotion with this match, right? On one hand, I just want to see Sasha get that championship on a pay-per-view. Like, I'm just envisioning that moment. I really haven't until this, but that's why I just had to pause there, guys. I had to pause because I just thought of Sasha winning that title Sunday night. And how it's overdue, long overdue. Every single time Sasha gets a championship, it seems she loses it within a month. Most of the time, it's within like a week or two. Even the tag titles that they fought a year plus to get, they still held it for like a month. So just the thought of that. But on top of that, if she doesn't get the title, they better have something badass for Sasha. They better make Sasha look like King fucking Tut. Because this can't be a situation where Sasha just eats a fucking L, middle of the ring, flat on her back, looking up at the lights. Oh, nice 3-week comeback. You had a big moment at a pay-per-view. It's over. Now just like Ember Moon, you can sit in catering and we'll call you when we need ya. Right? Ember Moon has her big match. After a year and a half, Ember finally gets a big match on the main card. On the main roster, I should say. At SummerSlam. Shitty fucking booking and story going into it. She loses flat on her back and then she's not seen for a fucking month. Until this past Tuesday when they needed her to do the job to Bayley. Because they needed Bayley to look semi-strong after just losing 24 hours earlier to Charlotte Flair. Keeping up with all this? So they cannot make Sasha Banks just eat a loss here, man. If Sasha Banks doesn't walk off with the title, she has to look dominant as fuck. She just has to. On the Becky Lynch side of things, I don't know. This is tricky booking right here. Fuck, dude. They're really trying to push the shit out of Becky. It's just Becky is... The momentum has died down, you know? It's gotten to the point where WWE is now putting signs on people's seats when you go to the arena, and that's why you see everyone hold up a piece of paper. It says Becky or Becky section or whatever the fuck it says. They put that on your seat. So you could... Back in the day, we used to bring our own shit. Because we were actual fans and we love that motherfucker. So we would be like, yeah, we'd be throwing that shit up proudly, like it's a flag. These days, everyone's kind of fair weather. Nobody's really dominant, and I don't blame them. Becky Lynch surely isn't larger than life, but they're trying to push her So does she just lose here to Sasha? And then what? Do we play hot potato? So Sasha loses it again in 1 month. And then we just kind of string out this feud for 3 months. Till maybe Survivor Series. And what's the end goal? It just goes back to Becky permanently until next year's WrestleMania. What does that do for Sasha? Sasha, when she gets a title, when it does happen, it needs to be for a long time. She needs to fucking finally implement her dominance. Becky Lynch has been doing such since WrestleMania. Don't give me the Sasha had her time. No, she didn't. Every time she won a title, it was almost immediately taken from her. Whether she walks out with the strap or not, this needs to be Sasha Banks looking dominant. Why? Not just because we're a Sasha Banks Pro channel, not just because we're Sasha Marks, it's because she just came back 3 weeks ago and is one of the biggest talking points in the pro wrestling world this month. She's one of the most edgiest, coolest things in the business, so add on to that. Don't destroy and ruin it. Next up is match 9. That's the WWE Championship. Kofi Kingston, the champion, taking on challenger Randy Orton. I'm going to be honest with you guys, as I always am, and I said this in a video last week. I think it was a SmackDown review video. The way that their match ended at SummerSlam took me out of anything going forward with these two. Just took me out of the game. These are two superstars, if you will, that I have seen feud since 10 years ago and since then. I've been seeing these two in the ring 100 million times. So here we are in 2019 going into SummerSlam, a big championship match, and in about 7 to 9 minutes, it ends in a double count out. You couldn't have thought of something better than that. Once that happened, I knew what was happening. I knew what was going on. They were going to extend this for more pay-per-views. But the second they ended it so anticlimactically was the moment that I said, nope, no more. It's lost its flavor for the Amplified Man. And that's how I stand today. Now, this past Tuesday, yes, they did something, the best they've had in the last month, story-wise, with reliving a moment from 10 years ago at Madison Square Garden. And that's Kofi flying through the air in the crowd and through Randy Orton and the table. So I like that, but I can't say it got me any more interested in this, which I already wasn't. Because again, it's just what happened at SummerSlam was the worst possible thing, man. If this was just a fucking Vengeance or a Battleground or an in-your-house pay-per-view, then that's fine. Or Smackville special, or WWE in Japan, a special on the network on Saturday night, that's fine. But your second biggest pay-per-view of the year, SummerSlam, a title match for the world title, and in 7 to 9 minutes we get a double count out. It left a bad taste in my mouth and one that I have not gotten over, and I just don't know if I'm going to let them let me down again, if that makes sense. I'm not going to give them that chance or opportunity. If they deliver Sunday, great for all of us. If they don't, I had no expectations for it anyway. No harm, no foul. On to the next. I see Randy Orton getting the strap, guys. You're going into a Fox deal with SmackDown in October, which is just a few weeks away. I think Randy Orton's the guy to do it, man. Kofi had a great run. I was down with Kofi Mania. Okay, I'm fibbing on a great run. He had a good run, right? I think if he was just much less time with the New Day, the rest of them, if he spent less time stuffing and shoving pancakes in between his waist and his title, maybe it would have been a great run. But to be a great run and to have a great run, you would have to have Vince McMahon get your back, booking and creative-wise. We know he just wasn't going to do that. So I think Kofi held his own for what he could do with the booking he was given. So it was a good run ever since Mania. I think now it's time to change over that title, man. It just feels right. And I think Orton, one more solid heavyweight championship run, now's the time. The Revival as his henchman could be something cool, you know? We'll see. Maybe they want the New Day to roll into the Fox SmackDown deal, you know? Being the whole New Day shtick, you know? And maybe Fox wants that. You know, at this point, it's business, man. I understand. I can go either way with that one. I think it's time for Randy Orton. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think down below, man. I know there's probably a 50-50 reaction to that match. The 10th match, most likely going to be your main event. This is Seth Rollins, the Universal Champion, defending that championship against Braun Strowman. Come on, guys. Honestly, are you excited for that match? I could say that about the whole card, I understand. But that match in particular, because if it's not the last match, it's definitely one of your main events. Seth Rollins, Strowman for the Universal Championship. Are you excited? Are you intrigued for that match? They have no feud. They're not even beefing at all. They're not just a tag team, or they're not just tag team champions. They're like buddies that just like joke with each other. Like, I'll beat you for the title. No, I'm gonna beat you, man. All right, let's go to dinner. Hey, Braun, what did your mom pack you for lunch, man? Did you get the cherry Capri Sun? Because I got the fucking mango. Want to trade? Only if you give me your chocolate chip brownie. I don't like peanut butter cookies. All right, let's trade. I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. That's probably more entertaining than what's going to happen Sunday night. You know, I see something. They have to do something to get people interested, because they have to know. They can't be that dumb that they think that people are actually invested in this. Something has to happen in that championship match, the tag team strap match, where not only do they lose the titles, but, and if that's the case, then what? Robert, Bobby Roode, and Dolph Ziggler are now tag team champions. What the fuck does that do for anyone? Are you excited for that? But on top of that, not only do they lose it, I mean, does like somebody accidentally hit somebody and that's how they got pinned, and then Braun Strowman goes ballistic and beats the shit out of... I don't know. But they can't just kind of go into this championship match as just buddies, right? I don't... This has just been a poorly booked feud. What am I saying? It's not even a feud. It's not even a story. What do I call this? This has been a poorly booked shitfest. This has been a shitfest with Rollins and Strowman, because we've known for weeks that was going to be the main event, or at least one of them. If it's not the last match, it's one of them. The most talked about match anyway. We knew for weeks. You could have thought of something that was going to captivate all of us? That's the best you got? Let's keep them both good guys, but give them tag titles. People will really jump on board with it then. Fuck. So anyway, that is your card for Clash of Champions. To say it's underwhelming would be an understatement, on paper at least. I'm hoping they pull off some fucking miracle and the show boggles our minds in a good way. Don't hold your breath. Usually doesn't happen that way. But it's underperforming on paper. It's underwhelming on paper. It actually looks not just weak, but it looks like a shitfest on paper. Shane McMahon and Kevin Owens, do they do something where they kind of go further with their story that they have going? You know, many people think Owens will go to NXT starting next week. I could see that happening, but I mean, is there any more to the story come Sunday? If so, I'd gladly appreciate that. All of us would, because that could be a bright spot, might be the only bright spot on the entire pay-per-view. A story that was actually somewhat intriguing from last Tuesday night. Shane and Kevin Owens. I don't know. Are you guys honestly looking forward to him? I mean, that's just the Amplified Man's opinion, I guess. But I'm sure there's people out there that are looking forward to. I think we're more just looking forward to just, you know, entertainment of any kind with our WWE. Right? We love WWE. We want to see them succeed. We want to see them do good. We want to see an epic show. We want to be entertained beyond belief. So I think we're more excited with the notion that there's a chance we might be entertained. But I think, unfortunately, what happens is we come to terms with reality, and, you know, we're brought back down to reality, And that's a harsh reality that normally these shows, when they're shit on paper, yep, they're shit on your screen. Or if you're there in attendance, I feel bad for you because then you paid all the money to get shit on or to get nothing in return. I don't know, man. Now I'm just fucking all over the place. I'll shut up about it. If you're going to have 12, 13 pay-per-views a year, man, if you're going to do that, you got to start finding ways to make them special. You can't just throw together bullshit. Because a fan like me, somebody who knows what the fuck they're talking about, that's been watching for over 30 years, you're throwing me Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross versus Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose for championships, and I'm supposed to go, wow, that's kick-ass. It's the best they can do, this company. You're giving me Braun Strowman versus Seth Rollins for the main title in one of your main events with no feud and no storyline, and I'm supposed to go, that's the best they can do, I love it. Eric Rowan versus Roman Reigns on SmackDown, that would be a boring match. But you're giving it to me on a pay-per-view. And at that, a pay-per-view called Clash of Champions when neither one of them are champions. And I'm supposed to go, yup, it's the best they can do. Strowman and Rollins as tag team title holders taking on Robert Bobby Bob Roode and Dolph Ziggler. And I'm supposed to go, yup, it's the best they can do. New Day and the Revival are not even on the same brand, supposedly. What the fuck? Becky Lynch and Sasha. Maybe Bayley and Charlotte. I mean, those are the two on paper anyway. That looks like they're saving this pay-per-view. We'll see what actually happens. I digress. I'll shut the fuck up about it now. We're really gonna get amplified Monday morning if this actually turns out to be the shit show that I think it's going to be. The good, the bad, and the ugly on Monday morning, hell hath no fury for the amplified man. I'm gonna get a coffee and then we'll continue. I can fucking speak. 2 coffees and then I'll continue. All right, Amp Unit, I'm back. We're good to go. We double-fisted some lattes and all is right in the world. I was going to go over some of the top news stories of the week with you guys over the next 20-something minutes left in this podcast, but to be honest with you guys, there's not a hell of a lot to talk about. There's nothing newsworthy for me to discuss. What are we going to talk about? One of the headlines was, Cass says he will return to WWE without Enzo. Well, fucking obviously. That's like saying BC Amplified will take the last water in case of the end of the world. Why would I not take the last fucking water? Am I going to give it to somebody else, a stranger? No, I'm going to try to fucking survive myself. I'm not going to give you the last water and I'm going to give it to you? You think Cass is going to say, I can't do it, Vince, not without little Enzo. Come on, man, it's the end of the world. I'm grabbing that fucking water. This is your second chance. You're gonna say no? I need Enzo? Come on, man. How is that a headline? Another headline. John Cena snags major role. Fucking something Spirit Squad? Riot Squad? Some shit. It has the word squad. I don't watch these movies. I don't fucking know. Summer Squad? Some type of fucking squad. John Cena's gonna be in the movie. Who cares? What else? I don't even fucking know. All these headlines just fucking anger me even more. None of this is news, and none of this is something that I can discuss or want to. So, what I was gonna do is have a little bit of fun. I put out a really good video. I didn't know it at the time. I mean, I know I always give you guys my A game. I love my videos where I'm dropping utmost facts and statistics. Those are the videos I love the most because we can all put our opinions to the side and just talk about the facts. That's what I love. I love when we're all on the same page and we're discussing what actually is the case. So I did one of those statistical videos this week. And I forgot the title of it. It was something like 5 superstars Vince gave up on. And I gave you guys the booking in the past 6 months to a year, whatever it was, of 5 superstars that I feel Vince McMahon gave up on. If you guys didn't check it out, check it out. A lot of you guys did see it, and I was just overwhelmed by how much you guys loved that video. That was receptive really, really good. And that's awesome because a lot of work does go into it. But more than that, I want you guys to really understand the severity of 50-50 booking. And what's worse is worse than 50-50 booking. And those are superstars that are being booked less than 50-50. And what that's doing is it's ruining their careers. Literally just ruining them. And I tell you exactly how and why in that video. But because that was so wildly well recepted, you guys wanted me to do more of them in the future, and I might. But because there was no real news left for this week, or no news at all, it seems like this is the calm before the storm. We know how busy October is going to be, with AEW really fucking getting their start on TV, and NXT, even though they'll have a couple of September shows. October is really when they go head-to-head with AEW. October is going to be huge. SmackDown moves from USA over to Fox in October. It's just a huge month for pro wrestling, so it's almost like this is the calm before the storm. So because there was no real news, I was going to give you guys another 5 list, another 5 superstars that are booked outrageously. Now, upon beginning this 5-person list, I pretty much stopped on a dime on the very first name. As I'm going over statistics and the stories and research that goes into this, the very first name was, I quickly found out to be a story within itself. And that's Alicia Fox. Right, Alicia Fox is kind of like a mystery in WWE. We really don't know what happened between her and McMahon. We know there's a plethora of incidents that led to her being on the outs with WWE, but what's the real sitch? Right, it's almost like Rusev and Lana. We know they were so frustrated, they finally just got up and left. But we don't know what really happened with Rusev, Lana, and Vince McMahon. Like Luke Harper too, right? Luke Harper got so frustrated finally, asked for his release 3 times, got denied 3 times, he finally sent out statements saying how frustrated he was. Rusev didn't take it to that level. He stayed on social media, cracked some jokes every now and again, isn't too hostile. But he does throw his jabs and digs over to Vince McMahon and WWE every now and again. But Alicia Fox, she's been totally quiet, as has WWE. And when you really research this, it's really astounding, the whole Alicia Fox storyline. Like a lot of people, I mean real life storyline, not fabricated, not in the WWE bubble, not in the pro wrestling world. Real life storyline is kind of fascinating. Now I know there's people on both sides of the fence. Some people are thinking, it's Alicia Fox, who cares? Good riddance. She didn't add any value anyway. But people on the other side of the fence, they like Alicia Fox. They want to see her. They know that she does add something if given the chance, maybe. It doesn't matter what side of the fence you're on. The fact is she's been gone, and for good reason, it seems. But I would ask the question, why is she still with the company? Not that I have a dog in the fight. I don't care either way. But I would ask why. She is somebody who has had a lot of incidents in that company. She is somebody who is clearly not looked at as a top talent, and yet they keep her. They refuse to cut ties with her. Does she have something on the company? Did she... I mean, I don't want to jump to conclusions, but I've seen people fired from that company, many, for far less than what Alicia Fox has done. And when you just look at what I aforementioned, the company not looking at her as a top talent, well, just look at her statistics. In the past 2 years, not counting something stupid like the Mixed Match Challenge, which she's won a couple of those, but that was some stupid thing on Facebook, but real like television appearances as it pertains to matches. Raw, SmackDown, pay-per-views, that type of thing. Alicia Fox is 4 out of 45 in the last 2 years. 4 wins, 41 losses. That's not fathomable. I couldn't even put a percentage on that as far as losses. What that would mean. They had her win 4 matches out of 45, and most of them were tag matches. So you don't see anything in her. She puts together and strings together a pretty impressive list of intoxicated situations. What's the deal? What do we not know about? And this is why this is kind of a polarizing topic for yours truly. In the 10-year span, I thought there was one time where they could have made something out of Alicia Fox. That was when she was playing the crazy character the very first time. She tried to bring it back a couple years later, but the very first time, I liked that. And there was something there with Alicia. Obviously, Alicia Fox was never one of the greatest wrestlers, but she wasn't one of the most horrendous. If you really give her a chance, she could put together some good matches here and there. But they just could never really put anything together, and Alicia Fox's own demons kind of got in her way. Anyway, I digress. Let me go over the actual incidents that I'm speaking of, right? The timetable, if you will. It began in February, where she reportedly wrestled intoxicated. Drunk was the word. And in March, a couple weeks later, Arn Anderson was fired by WWE for letting Alicia Fox wrestle drunk. So that was around February, March, where that incident arose that actually got Arn Anderson fired from the company. Now then, a month later, for WrestleMania weekend, which again, Fox wasn't really a big part of anyway, but yet she still made a headline when she was intoxicated yet again and going off on Ronda Rousey's husband, Travis Brown. She was calling him rude several times. Somebody had to come in to the camera. There was actually cell phone footage. Someone came in to tell Alicia Fox she's now causing a scene. Alicia Fox shrugs them off, goes to go back into Travis Brown's face, sees the cell phone camera, and goes to grab at it and shove it to the ground. This was all caught on tape. So we think that led to Vince McMahon's punishment for Alicia, obviously. She was only seen once. After that incident, she was seen one time. That was about a week or two after WrestleMania, where she did a quick job to Becky Lynch on Monday Night Raw, and that was it. I think there was one more appearance on like the main event show, which nobody watches, and she did the job to the Iconics in that match. It was a tag match. So she did back-to-back jobs, and then she wasn't seen again. Since. So we're talking over 5 months now, 6 months almost. So we believe that was half punishment by Vince, and maybe Alicia Fox was still at a bad place in her dome piece. But the wrestling in February drunk, and then Arn Anderson getting fired for letting her do such in March, and then in April she gets into this intoxicated altercation with Travis Brown, Ronda Rousey's husband. Then she's clearly just put on some type of punishment. And then comes SummerSlam weekend, where she was seen by many people. This was just this past SummerSlam last month. She was seen by many people, mostly fans, intoxicated, slurring words, and hanging on to others, including other wrestlers, and yelling at fans. Some reports even indicate that she had an altercation with some of the fans. Again, she hasn't been seen since April anyway, so the fact that she was making negative headlines even when WWE was trying to keep her in obscurity is not going to make the machine happy. Now, it's believed that Fox was offered rehab since then, and she might have taken it. However, WWE has offered Fox rehab in the past, and she not only declined it, she went AWOL. And she wasn't seen for a while. Nobody knew where she went. So that said, while she may have taken WWE up on their offer this time around, there is also a chance that she left and is AWOL once again. We don't know. She has been silent on social media since the incident in August. Actually, a few days before, right? SummerSlam? A few days before or a few days after. She ended up going silent on social media. I think it was a few days after when this story really started to make waves. Because I think SummerSlam was around August 10, August 11. Her final social media post was around the 17th. And that was it. So it sounds to me like rehab, right? When you're at rehab, they like when you're just away from electronics and your phones. So it sounds like she's in rehab right now, which is awesome. But we've heard reports in the past that she declined it and left for a while. So we don't know if that's the case either. We hope, first and foremost, nothing but the best for Alicia. I want to put that out there first. Before any WWE or company bullshit, the human being itself matters more than anything. So we wish her nothing but the best. Rehab is the way to go. Some addiction and shit like that's nothing to fuck with. And sometimes you just need help from others, man. There's nothing wrong with that. There's no shame in it. There's no embarrassment. So if she is getting the help and WWE reached out and whether they asked her to do it or forced her, I'm just glad they're doing it. Because now we're starting to put together many incidents where her career and life, they work hand in hand, are being affected due to stupid decision making due to being intoxicated. So that's the timeline, guys, and that's the reason you have not seen Alicia Fox in 6 months, basically, right? One Monday Night Raw appearance back in April against Becky Lynch, quick match. She did the job. We believe that was just a punishment jobber match anyway for what happened WrestleMania weekend with Ronda Rousey's husband. And the fact that Arn Anderson went on a limb for her and actually got fired for her. And it appears that at SummerSlam weekend, she still put the company in a bad light and herself more than anything. One or two mistakes here and there, one mistake should be enough, right? You should always learn your lesson the first time. You should be given a second chance. But when you squander the second chance, people's eyebrows start getting raised. When you do it a third time, that's like 3 strikes you're out, and that's when people stop trusting in you or stop believing in you. Or that's where you have to look in the mirror and say, I have a problem, I have an issue. If I said it about Jeff Hardy, that the guy's got a fucking problem, and he's got to get his head on straight, if I said it about the fucking Usos, then you're damn right I'm going to say it about Alicia. Get your head on straight, man. Forget the fact that you have all these little girls, maybe even little boys, or who the fuck knows, looking up to you. You need to get your head on straight for yourself. You got a beautiful young woman who's got the world at her fingertips and squandering herself. And that sucks to see. And as somebody who's been in a bad place in their dome piece, but basically my whole teenage life into my early 20s, man, I was in a bad place, And it took maturing. It took people giving me second chances. It took people having patience with me, but I finally came around. Well, 10 years with WWE shows that they're showing her patience. Now's the time where you gotta fucking swim or you're gonna sink. I like Alicia, I really do. I don't know how she still has a job in the company. I really don't. Roster spots are hard to get in that company, and there's so much talent in this world, especially female these days, that for Alicia to take up a spot, it's just weird to me. Again, they don't look at her like a good talent, obviously. 4 wins out of 45 in the last 2 years televised. On top of that, she's constantly getting into issues and troubles and negative headlines for the company. I would love to know why she's employed. I don't get it. There has to be more to that story. And trust me, ever the journalist that I am, I will crack the code. I don't know, man. These stories are always hard to cover. When I do it for Jeff Hardy, when I do it for the Usos, and doing it for Alicia Fox, they're always hard to cover, man, because it's such a personal thing too. So you want to be respectful of that, but you also know that you're running a channel that covers all things pro wrestling, so you have to give your audience all the details, facts, and all the situations and occurrences that happened as they happened, timetable-wise. So it's hard, I got to balance the fact and also doing it in a respectful way. But as a person, we hope that Alicia Fox, Foxy Lady, as she calls herself over on Twitter, we hope that she comes out of this good, man, and take a breath, relax, think about your life and where you're at and what you have and the people you have in it, man, and go forward kicking ass, The time for fucking. You fucked up? That's fine. People fuck up, man. It's cool. You fucked up. You got your head back on straight. Now you're ready to conquer the world. That's all that matters. Yeah, again, there's just no other stories, guys. That's it. I mean, hopefully you guys enjoyed it, man. We had the preview. We kind of cracked the code of Alicia Fox a little bit. We'll be waiting to see any statement that WWE or Alicia makes. Maybe after this rehab stint, they do part ways with Alicia. It looks like it's going that way, but we'll see. Other than that, there really isn't a lot of news, guys. It's the calm before the storm. October business is going to pick up huge. But this Sunday, tomorrow night, we go into Clash of Champions. And as you guys know, the very next morning, Monday morning, the good, the bad, and the ugly review. I might be a little biased, but I'm sure a lot of you will back me when I say the best review show after a pay-per-view is right here on this channel, the good, the bad, and the ugly. We break it down in a way nobody else does or even could. And that's why I love the good, the bad, and the ugly, man. If it was up to me, I would do it every Monday Night Raw and SmackDown too, but it really isn't up to me. It isn't. That's up to Vince, because if I did those good, the bad, and the uglies on today's Raw, I would have like 45 uglies, 17 bads, and 3 goods. You know, it wouldn't be fair. If Vince starts giving us a more even show, we could have a lot more fun with the reviews on Raw and SmackDown. SmackDown's always usually better than Raw, but Raw feels more special because Vince does look at it as the A show. So that balances that out. I don't know, man. It's a whole nother fucking world. What am I even talking about? That's it. That's the fucking podcast. 33rd ever in the books. Much love to you guys. As always, kick the rest of this weekend's ass. I will see you guys Monday morning. Possibly, actually. Always stay subscribed and notified. I might actually come up with something before SummerSlam tomorrow. Or SummerSlam, what the fuck? That's when you know I need another fucking coffee already. My apologies. Clash of Champions. Wow, we just went either into the future, 10 months, or we just went backwards a month. I might have something before Clash of Champions, guys, so stay on the lookout. For now, the Amplified Man. Check you later.